Hey guys, I'm Kenzie Nimmo and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about mental health and my personal experience with it and why it's super important to have a conversation about it. I, according to my parents, have always been kind of an introspective child who is run by her feelings. And I always thought it was a really good thing until I was in high school, and I just felt like somewhere along the line I noticed that there was just a heaviness that I felt all the time and kind of like a cloud that just followed me. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but I just kind of felt this underlying sadness all the time. And it grew and became something I just didn't understand. And it wasn't even until I think I met with a therapist that I knew I had depression. My kind of thought process was like, I have a good life. Like, I don't have tons to be sad about. Why am I sad all the time? Why do I not want to do things with my friends? Why do I just feel this bad all the time? Luckily, I also feel like it's so much better now than it was when I was in high school. Like, mental health is more of a conversation, but I felt like I was literally the only person in the world that understood how I was feeling. And I felt like there was something wrong with me. I think for that reason, I didn't open up to really anybody about it. And I think to all of my friends, I seemed perfectly fine, which looking back, I'm sure there were tons of signs that I wasn't. But for a couple years, I just kind of carried the burden of depression alone. And looking back, that was kind of on me because I had amazing friends who I'm sure if I had just opened up to about it, they would have been super supportive and they would have been really nice and helpful about it. But I was really worried about burdening other people and trying to explain what was going on and them thinking that I was crazy. And there was just so much that I didn't know about depression and about how it doesn't make you any of those things that it would have been really nice to know. Even now, since I've been doing social media for a while, it's not something that I talk about all the time, but it's something I'm definitely more open about on Instagram stories and stuff like that about depression and anxiety and the fact that I deal with it. Because it's not something that you should be embarrassed by. It's mental health, and like anything else, it's important to be open about it and not be ashamed of it, and to utilize as much support as you can to deal with it. And that's something that I've learned in the past few years. Because I didn't want to burden anybody or make any of my friends think I was crazy or just get into the conversation because it would be awkward, I didn't really reach out to anybody. And that definitely made it a lot harder than it had to be. I even have people I've talked to on social media that follow me who say they don't feel like they can talk to anybody about it because they feel the same way. And I promise you it's not true. You won't be burdening anybody if you talk to them about it. It's important to have these awkward conversations because you need support in anything in life. Depression and anxiety and any mental health issues aren't something you should have to carry alone. If I had told my high school self that 10 years down the road, I would have a much better grasp on all of this, that I would understand it better, that I would be able to recognize when my depression is influencing my thoughts and it's not just me, and all these other little things that I've learned over time, it would have been so helpful. And I'm also so much better off now because I'm open about it and my family knows, my friends know, my husband knows, and they help me. And it makes it so much easier to deal with. Depression and anxiety and mental health in general can be so much, and it can feel like such a hurdle to get over. And I think that step number one is seizing the awkward and having those conversations with whoever it is in your life that you trust to be there for you. And if you aren't dealing with any mental health issues, but you have a friend who you're concerned about or you think might be dealing with it, there's a lot that you can do to help. Look up the signs of depression, be aware of them. You might not notice them at first, but if you just look, you can see it. If your friend seems a little off, ask them about it. Let them know that you're there through the awkward silences. Even if it feels awkward, lean into it, because past that awkwardness is like true trust and true friendship. Try and understand what depression is. I know that when I first was dating my husband and I was trying to explain to him what it was, he didn't fully understand it, and it took a little while, but he finally, through me explaining and him doing his own work, understands how it affects me daily and can do a better job of being there as a support for me. So reach out to your friends, be there for them, hug them, love them, have the awkward conversations because they're important and it can save a life. I'm really happy that Ad Council reached out to me about the Seize the Awkward campaign and that I could share my story with you guys. It's something I wanted to share for a while and haven't quite known in what setting I wanted to share it. If you ever want to DM me, send me DMs. I try and respond to them as much as possible, but there's always somebody that you can talk to. So if you've watched this far in the video, maybe think of a friend that you haven't reached out to in a while. You never know how much they might need it. I'll see you guys next week.